What is up, everybody? This is Zip with Zip's Back Coaching, going over week 3, the preview, right before the game start at 12. I know I look like a shitty, great value Seth Rogen, but I promise I'm way less funny, but I have a better hairline. But let's get right into it. First game, Chargers and the Chiefs. Who's betting against Mahomes? I mean, who doesn't like Justin Herbert? He's like a gunslinger as well, and he could throw the ball like 45 yards on a dime, like a straight pass, like the size at your waist. But I think the people rooting against for Mahomes is every Bears fan. The way they've been treating Andy Dalton, I wouldn't be surprised if they want something bad to happen to Mahomes. So Trubisky would be the only QB left standing in the 2017 NFL Draft. I wouldn't be surprised, but anyways, aside from my Bears pessimism, through the first 17 games of someone to start their career as quarterback, Justin Herbert has the most passing yards of all time, aside from Mahomes through the first 17 starts. Herbert has 5,011, and then Mahomes had 5,381. So I kind of like that comparison. Herbert is no way on the level of Mahomes, but let's be real here. The guy can sling the ball. In the division since 2015, the Chiefs, they're 31-4 with Alex Smith and company. But right now, the biggest knock on the Chiefs is that the defense is just ass. The Chargers are okay, I guess, but Herbert, he's gonna throw for 1,000,000 yards this game, and so is Mahomes. But there's no way the Chargers they're gonna outscore the Chiefs. I mean, the biggest story is Kelsey and Hill. CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to get it going because the pass offense is just so good. I could see them trying to keep things away by passing the ball, not really handing the ball off too much. I see Herbert going off, but having some costly interceptions. The Chargers defense, they did only allow 20 points to the high-powered Dallas Cowboys offense, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that against Kansas City. Let's be real. But I think the game's going to be a little bit closer than people think. I think the Chiefs pull ahead early. Chargers get points in the back end. They make it a little bit close because I really don't trust that Chiefs defense. And I'm going to take the Chargers +7 and the over. Chiefs 34-30. And the line, the over-under was 54.5, and the Chiefs -7. So definitely taking the Chargers +7. I think that's a good play, considering how I think this game's going to be played out. But next game, Cardinals Jaguars. I mean, who's watching Jaguar games? The Cardinals, they're favored by 7.5. The over-under is 51.5. Kyler Murray. I mean, if you didn't draft him early in your fantasy league, you didn't get him. He's an absolute dog. He's going to be rivaled to none this year, it seems like. He's going to be scoring 40-point weeks every week. One of the reasons why I like Kyler Murray so much is because he was a baseball player. He was notorious for getting drafted #1 overall in both sports. That's why I like Russell Wilson so much. Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray comparisons, they happen all the time just because they both play baseball. They both played shortstop, I believe. And you're able to throw across your body and make those Derek Jeter throws, and I think it translates to the NFL. It's one of the reasons why I like Justin Fields so much, and I'm trying to talk myself in every way possible to make sure I do. But it shows that they're elite athleticism. But in this game, the Jags offense just looks bad. Lawrence, he has a 50% completion percentage this year. Granted, we're only through 2 games, but last week, Teddy Bridgewater, he threw for over 300 yards against the defense. Not that Teddy Bridgewater's bad or anything, but he's an average game manager. He's a good quarterback, but he's not somebody who's going to be carrying your team like Russell Wilson. But the Jags in the past 17 games, they've lost 17 straight. And Gardner Minshew right now, he's probably better than Trevor Lawrence. Urban Meyer, he took over one of the worst franchises of all time. The Jags, the Texans, the Lions, and this team. It's just bad. They got some studs. I like Laviska Shenault. I like DJ Chark, James Robinson. But I have a hard time having such faith in a young coach and a quarterback. And Urban Meyer, I wouldn't be surprised if he just calls it quits randomly and he just says, "Fuck this, I'm going to USC." Wouldn't be surprised at all. But with the Cardinals have way too many playmakers. Arizona Cardinals defense, it's going to go after Lawrence, Chandler Jones. Monster. We all know that Jags O-line doesn't stand a chance. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals win by 30 and the Jags only score 3 field goals. It's going to be hard to bet against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to be scary this year, but that division is just so tough with the Rams and the Seahawks. But I got the Cardinals -7.5 in the under. from 51.5. But I got the Cards winning 30-17. I just don't see the Jags really scoring that many points unless it's in garbage time. But we'll see how the clock management goes down at the end of the game. But for the next game, Bears versus Browns. Oh my God, most important game in Bears history, it seems like. Everything's been leading up to this point for the Bears to get a great quarterback. Right now it's -7.5 to the Browns. And then the over-under, it's 44.5. And Justin Fields, I mean, it's exciting, but I'm going to be pessimistic until I see something happen. I refuse to get a Bears quarterback jersey, and still then I'm going to wear this thrift store shirt that I got for like $2 at Goodwill or Salvation Army. I forget. I don't want to disrespect them and forget that I shouted them out. But last week, it seemed obvious that the offensive game plan, it was for Andy Dalton. I mean, he was the one who started, but Fields made some great throws. He missed a big touchdown pass because Allen Robinson, he dropped it in the end zone. I don't think he was really used to having a quarterback throw him a dime like that, because he literally did it should have been a basket catch. But he did have a bad interception against a linebacker. Linebacker was lurking by the line of scrimmage, and then he just threw it right in his hands. I don't think he's going to be able. I think he's going to learn from it. I don't think he's going to make that same mistake again. Something about Fields is just way different than when we drafted Mitch. Mitch, his thing was he was like the most accurate quarterback ever, but I didn't like his track record. I really wanted to get Jamal Adams in that draft, but I think something's different about Fields. They're running some run-pass options, trying to use Matt Nagy's little scrappy little playbook, try to get some cute little things going on, but I still think there's no hope. I mean, Bears aren't doing anything. Hopefully we could just get some kinks out of Justin Fields while we can right now, and hopefully we can get him to be a top 15 quarterback next year at the very least. But it's right now, it's obvious the Browns are still way better. Baker, he's a little banged up, but it doesn't matter. They're going to run the ball down the Bears' throats. Chubb, he's scored a touchdown in 8 straight games. And Kareem Hunt he's still relevant in fantasy. He's still relevant on the team. He still gets a lot of touches, mainly because Baker's the quarterback, and Kareem is the number 2 back, and he's still relevant. But Baker, he's completed 80% of his passes, and the Browns have one of the best defenses in the league. Browns, it's like, I'm so proud of them after watching them grow up after all these years. But for the Bears, I'm excited to see how David Montgomery's going to do. Since Fields starting, I think they might run some run-pass options, like I was saying, and give Montgomery some easy looks. But at the end, I just don't trust Matt Nagy. I think that we're going to start off running the ball, and then we're going to end up putting Fields in really bad situations, long third downs, things like that. The worst part about it is that Barstool Sports, they don't believe in the Bears at all. I think it's kind of funny. I wish I would have did this, but I'm about an hour away. They're doing plus 1985 if you bet the Bears. You could bet them plus 7.5. It's for new signups and only at the Aurora Casino. But even Barstool Sports, they're willing to give you $2,000 just to bet on this game. If you bet $100, you win $2,000. And even with that being said, I think that the Bears plus 7.5, I think that's a lot. The Bears defense last week, the last 3 passes by Joe Burrow were interceptions. Joe Burrow's no scrub, I think he's going to be a good serviceable quarterback in the league, possibly a top 10 quarterback. But this week I got the Bears plus 7.5 in the under. I got the Browns winning 24-17. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to be garbage time points. We're going to be running the ball with Justin Fields. We're going to try to get him going, try to make him a little bit more elusive so we can open up some passing lanes, make the linebackers a little nervous, so they don't want to go deep into coverage, so they want to stay a little bit lower so they can kind of control them, get some QB contained. But for the next game, Washington at Bills. Washington, they were supposed to have a great defense this year, but they've been underperforming, and Chase Young he's had a slow start. The Bills, they're minus 7.5. The spread, it's 45.5. The over-under. Right now, the Bills, they just have a better defense. The Bills' running game, it's been better. It's Devin Singletary. He's top 10 in the league in rushing this year through 2 games, whatever that means. But I doubt that this will continue, with the running backs at least. I want to see more running from Josh Allen, where he, just ends up saying fuck it and runs. Josh Allen, this year, he just hasn't been looking like 2020 Josh Allen so far. Even in last week in the blowout, when they won 35-0, the Dolphins' offense is just that bad. And then when you're that bad, you're not on the field. That means the Bills are just gonna be the only ones scoring. So I don't really take that game too harshly, but this game is gonna have some QB rushing yards. Heineke and Allen, they're some quick boys. They're some quick boys. Heineke, he's a scrappy player. He went undrafted. He's gonna get fouled. That's gonna get fouled with him his entire career. But at least he's kind of made way that he's a serviceable backup, and he seems halfway decent. Heineke, last time he played, he seemed like he was getting flustered, and this game he's definitely going to. He's gonna run outside the pocket. He's gonna make some bad decisions. He's good. He's okay, but he's not taking the football team to the next level. They have faith in him, but I doubt he's gonna be the second coming of Brady. This game's gonna start off close. Bills are going to pull away fast. Bills -7 and the over. I got 34-17 Bills. Next game, Colts and Titans. Titans -4.5. Over-under is 48.5. So right now, Wentz is a game-time decision. I don't know if they've officially ruled him out yet, but Brent Huntley, he's getting the start over Jacob Eason. And I collect sports cards, and I can't tell you how many times I've fucking gotten Jacob Eason cards instead of Burrow or even Tua or Herbert. But it looks like these Eason cards that I have would be less valuable than toilet paper that's getting thrown around the New York City subway system. It's one-ply toilet paper, so it's fucking trash. But Tannehill's gonna have a bounce back game this week, even though he threw for almost like 350 yards last week, but he had no touchdowns because that Julio Jones callback. I think Henry is gonna be an absolute dog again, and he's gonna get ran to the ground until he just dies or turns into dust. Or until God decides to bring him up to heaven because he needs him for his football team or whatever. But he has no signs of stopping soon. So as long as Henry in the running game is like this, it's going to keep Tannehill relevant. I couldn't even tell you the backup quarterback, running back for the Titans because they just believe in Henry that much. Tannehill, he's been blessed by the play action gods. I've been saying for forever that the only reason why he's been having these insane efficiency numbers is because of the great running game. The running game, it's still a big part of the NFL, even though it's kind of getting away from it. But if you're able to set up the play action pass, it could revolutionize your franchise, kind of like how it's done for the Titans ever since they got rid of Marcus Mariota. But without Henry, Tannehill, he's just a basic quarterback. With that being said, he still has Henry, and anybody looking at this game with a brain would say the Titans would win this game. Wentz banged up. I mean, the under has to be a play, right? I got the Titans -4.5 and the under, 27-17 Titans. In the next game, the Saints versus the Patriots. This is just a really interesting game. Not because of any of the players. The Patriots, they're -3. Over-under is 42.5, which is another one of the lowest point totals of the week so far. But it's Sean Payton versus Billy Boy versus Belichick, the Sith Lord, versus Bountygate versus Deflategate, Spygate. Pick one. I don't know. He's got a million of them now. But he didn't get suspended. But both teams, they're without their long-lasting franchise quarterbacks with Tom Brady and Drew Brees, even though we know Tom Brady left last year. I mean, everybody knows that. But this game, it's going to come down to coaching and defense. It's weird to see these teams play without Drew Brees or Tom Brady in it, but they went from those to Jameis Winston and a rookie quarterback drafted at 15th overall. If you would have told me Jameis Winston would have succeeded Drew Brees, it just sounds funny to me. It's Jameis Winston. He's obviously hilarious. He's a person I would love to have a conversation with, hang out, and possibly watch some romantic comedies with or something. I don't know, but Mack Jones, he's only has one touchdown pass through 2 weeks. He's arguably the best rookie quarterback right now because he's behind a competent franchise. You look at the other rookie quarterbacks aside from Trey Lance because he hasn't really started yet, and maybe Justin Fields, but it's not like people have trust in Matt Nagy in that system. But you got trust in Belichick. But Jameis, he's electric. I can't force myself to buy into him yet, especially not versus the Patriots. So Jameis versus Mac Jones at this point, who the fuck knows? But Mac Jones is probably a safer bet because they're going to make him make safe throws. When you're a rookie quarterback, I can't stress this enough, and shitty quarterbacks, if you're in the league for a while and you're just trash, you're going to do checkdowns. You're going to have your tight ends in your slots and then your running backs. And that's one of the reasons why the Patriots went out and got the two top tight ends, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. We'll know if they can stay healthy. We'll see if they can stay healthy. But That's one of the reasons why I like the Patriots a lot this year. They got players back from COVID, Dante Hightower. I think they're going to have an underrated season. I think that people are underlooking them. But Jameis overall for the Saints, he's an absolute gunslinger, but he has the decision making of a high school quarterback. I mean, last week, did the COVID vaccine reverse your LASIK injury? My buddy Pat said that. I thought it was hilarious. But Jameis hasn't really played against Belichick. Peyton obviously has, but last week, the Jets versus the Patriots, Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions. Granted, Sean Payton shits on everything that the Jets have ever done since Joe Namath, but I don't think that Sean Payton is going to allow Jameis to get put in the situation to throw that many interceptions. But at the end of the day, who do you trust more? Do you trust the Patriots with Mack Jones, or do you trust Jameis and the Saints? Let's take the coaches out of it. I trust the Patriots because the question mark on Jameis is just too big. I do think this game is going to be close because I don't think the Patriots are going to be able to score that many points. They're not going to take too many chances. It's going to be a game management. It's going to be a defensive game. The Saints aren't bad on defense. They're a good defense. I'm taking the Patriots in the under 20-17 Patriots. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be a good game regardless, even though there's going to be a couple other games on. Falcons at Giants. Giants -3, the spread 47.5. First point that I have on here is who cares? It's the Falcons and the Giants. Danny Dimes, I don't know who thinks of him as like a great quarterback. He had a okay week last week. This is going to be another Danny Dimes fool's goal game. This is going to be another game where people are going to be like, oh, Danny Dimes, he was looking pretty good. He was facing Atlanta. He was facing Atlanta defense. Over the past like since they left the Super Bowl, they've been awful on defense. This is one of the only games, but I would say that this is one of the only games that the Falcons can win. Matt Ryan, he's a dog. Calvin Ridley, I love Kyle Pitts. He has a bigger wingspan than DK Metcalf. He was second largest in the league besides Mo Alley Cox on the Colts. But Matt Ryan can't do it all, and the fact that Cordell Patterson is getting a lot of touches, I think that's actually concerning. He's been in the league for forever. People know who he is. He's a great special teamer. Nobody's doubting that. He might make the all-time 2010 team for returners, but if you don't want him, you don't want him in one of your main people in your offense. But if the Giants lose this game, they're 0-3, and they could still have a chance at the division championship in the NFC East. It's just disrespectful that you're able to win a division with a losing record. But it's okay though, because that's the reason why we had the Beastquake, because in the playoffs, when the Seahawks made it versus the Saints, they were 7-9, and that's when the Beastquake happened with Beast Mode, when he said, hold my dick in the end zone. But this game, it's totally winnable by both franchises. I don't know how anybody can trust either team. I think it's going to be a close game, but I would stay away from this game 100% because, number one, who cares? You don't want to be watching this game. You want to be watching some other games. But I think it is going to surprise us. I think this is going to be a really close game because Atlanta has no defense, but they do have a good offense. I think they're going to be able to figure it out. Matt Ryan's going to be able to put some passes in some tight pockets. I think Kyle Pitts has a really good game of his career so far. I think Atlanta squeezes out of this one. Falcons and the over. Atlanta 31-30. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it might be a good game. I think it's to surprise some people, but at the end of the day, it's the Falcons versus the Giants. So, next game, Bengals at Pittsburgh. I'm actually watching this game. I like this game. So they got it drawn up as Steelers -3. The spread, the over/under, it's 43.5. Big Ben, he's got a left pectoral injury, but he's starting. Who cares? Big Ben, he's always injured. He's always got something going on. He's arguably one of the funniest quarterbacks in the league. He looks like a Sesame Street character with like his round face and like his pushed in nose, or not pushed in, but it's like so round. But you knew Big Ben was going to get injured. Like, why haven't the Steelers invested into a backup quarterback? Mason Rudolph, just because he knows the system and has been there for forever. Dwayne Haskins, which I did like the pickup at the time, but I mean, watching him play for the Skins, the football team. I mean, bruh, like why didn't they draft a quarterback? Ben's 39. Even the Buccaneers drafted Kyle Trask in the second round, early in the second round last year in the draft. Crazy. And they should have went out, got a solid backup. I get that Rudolph has been in the system, but they know that Big Ben's going to get injured. Gardner Minshew, he got sent to the Eagles for a 5th or a 6th round pick. Go out and get Nick Foles. The Bears will pay some of that money. It's a lot of money, but I don't know. You should have drafted one. Who didn't see this coming? And with this game, the Steelers, they're all banged up on defense. Last week, they had a really bad week. TJ Watt's injured after he signed that big deal. Pittsburgh defense didn't look good. So this week, I'm a big Joe Burrow guy. Even though T. Higgins is out, which kind of scares me, but Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, I mean, they're no scrubs. I've been a believer in him since I saw him smoking that stogie after LSU won that championship. Dude's got swag, and I'm a swag guy. Have you seen my shirt? But Ben Roethlisberger, he's got dad swag, and I wouldn't be surprised if Big Ben was wearing that big 2004 suit, 2005 suit, same outfit since he was drafted, till his wife and kids start addressing him. But Steelers, they're wasting their defense. They're injury prone right now. The offense is just weird. They got a lot of talent, no consistency. Najee Harris, people had such big high expectations for him. He was going in rounds 1 and 2 in my fantasy drafts this year, and but every team has talent now. I mean, you look at any team, the Bears, they got weapons. They got Mooney, Robinson, Montgomery. Even look at the Colts, with Pittman, Paris Campbell, T.Y. He's going to be coming back soon. And their running back situation, they have Taylor, Mack, Himes. Every team has these weapons. I don't think that the Steelers have a clear-cut number 1 wide receiver either. Claypool, he seems like he's going to be the real deal. Deontay Johnson's been in the league for a little bit longer. Juju, he's a weird guy. Nobody knows what to think of him. He doesn't do as well without a clear-cut number 1 on the team for him to be number 2, because he gets those targets. When he's guarded by the number 1 cornerback, he doesn't seem to be doing as well. And the Bengals, they have Boyd, Higgins, Chase, Mixon. Higgins is out, but I think this is going to be a statement game for the Bengals and the Steelers. So over the past 2 decades, the Steelers have been a playoff team, decade and a half, and I think this is going to be the turning point. Beginning of the downfall with the Steelers happens. I think it really does. Steelers are playing at home. I think the Bengals are going to come out and show out. It's going to be a close game, divisional matchup. It's going to be big for the Bengals. This will be a very big confidence booster. Week 1, they beat the Vikings, which was a big confidence booster too, because Vikings are the best 0-2 team in football. But I'm taking the Bengals and the over. Bengals win 24-20. Next game, Ravens at Lions. Ravens minus 7.5. Over-under is 50.5. Goff is just a check-down quarterback. I can't say this enough. First game this season, his top pass catchers were 2 running backs with Jamal Williams and Swift, and then Hawkinson, while throwing over for 300 yards. And it's hard to bet on the Lions in any circumstance. They're going to win some games because it's extremely hard to lose them all, but I have no faith. I have no faith in them, especially playing in Detroit. The franchise has just destroyed them. Even so, with the Ravens, even with the running back situation, this may be a game where they try to get the running game going. I mean, aside from Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson has single-handedly made them the top rushing team in the league every year. But we all know about their injuries. They're only going to be trying out the running game and trying to get it going for the running backs because they're facing the Lions. They're going to be facing some pressure. The Lions are definitely be facing some pressure. I don't trust Goff at all with pressure. He's too much of a pretty boy and LA boy to be able to handle the Detroit grit and the pressure from the man, the myth, the legend of the coach of the Lions. But I think this game is going to be close because I think it's going to be a practice game kind of for Lamar and boys. I could see the Lions being closer than the line insists. This is a fun fact, though. The Lions have only won 1 game against the Ravens ever, and that was in 2005 with Joey Harrington as the quarterback. I have Joey Harrington's jersey, by the way. I might pull it out today because I think it's hilarious, and I got the Lions plus 7.5 and the under 24-17. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Next game, Jets and Broncos. Who cares? Any game with the Jets, I'm probably just not going to be watching. Broncos minus 10.5 spread, 41.5 for the over and under. And after facing a tough Patriots defense, now facing the Broncos, I mean, how bad can it get for Zach Wilson? I mean, dude, I'm so sorry, man. That sucks. How many interceptions does he throw? You know, Vic Fangio, he's an absolute mob boss. I wouldn't be surprised if he's sitting there rubbing his hands together, getting some baby powder ready to smack a motherfucker, you know? But Von Miller, he's going to continue tearing it up. He's one of the league leaders in quarterback pressures this year. Bradley Chubb and company, they're no joke. Broncos, they might be an actual contender. Teddy Bridgewater, he threw for over 300 yards last week. He looks good. I've always been a fan of Teddy. He's not gonna single-handedly win you some games, but he's not gonna lose you them. You know, he's like a better, more athletic Alex Smith, I guess. I don't know. And I don't know why Alex Smith is always the standard for game managing quarterbacks. I mean, the dude had an insane season his last season with KC. But anyways, that division's tough. Interdivision with KC, the Chargers, the Raiders. All teams could theoretically be playoff teams. Chargers, they're kind of probably at the bottom right now, just because of how the level of what everybody else is on. But who's actually watching this game? Unless you're a fan of the Broncos, the Jets. There's 4 games on at 3 p.m. This will not be one of the games I want to watch. But hey, you know, it's football. You know, I'm a big fan of football. I'm taking the Broncos in the under 27-10. You know, have to do it. Dolphins, Raiders, 43.5. Raiders minus 3.5. Beginning of the season, I probably would have said the Dolphins, right? Because the Dolphins, they have an overall better team. They do kind of seem like a mess. Well, I thought they had a better team. They beat the Patriots, but then got shut out. Is Tua really that big of a difference than Jacoby Brissett? I just think they have no offensive rhythm, and it reminds me of the Trubisky Bears. Trubisky check down Trubisky, Tua, blah, blah, blah. They don't trust him. They don't trust him at all. Doesn't matter because he's injured, but you know, who actually thinks Tua is that much better than Jacoby Brissett? He has a higher potential, but it's not like people have seen so many crazy things from Tua. It seems like he's kind of got like a little of a noodle arm, and I mean, he's just like throwing to Mike Gesicki or something. You know, like he doesn't throw it to anybody. Does Derek Carr actually deserve the respect this year? You know, if they go 3-0 with the division with the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos, I mean, that's huge. That's huge. Derek Carr right now, he might be the leading MVP candidate. I mean, Waller might be the MVP candidate because without Waller, would they even be 2-0? I mean, Derek Carr, he's a great guy. You know what I'm saying? I'd let my daughter marry him if I had one, you know, if she was of age. But Derek Carr, we kind of know what he is. I think he should have won Rookie of the Year when him and Teddy Bridgewater both came in the league. But he's going to end up getting exposed eventually once people start really, really guarding Waller. It's going to open up some plays for Ruggs and Bryan Edwards. But I think Ruggs is just a speedy, quick guy that's going to get injured again, and I don't think he's going to be able to have this the season like people projected him to have last year. And Josh Jacobs is injured right now. The Kenyon Drake signing, it seems like a great signing. I have no clue if I can trust the Raiders long term. I have a hard time trusting John Gruden. I think he's just maybe a little bit outdated. I'm not sure. He has his guys he likes, but I'm not sure if I trust him. I do trust Derek Carr, but I don't trust that offense, especially when he's giving Darren Waller 17 targets a game. But I do have the Raiders minus 3.5. I think that's a great line. And the under, I think they win 29-10 because that offense in Miami is just abysmal. But this is the game. This is the best game of the week. Bucks and Rams. The point spread, it's 55.5. The Bucks are favored minus 1.5. So I think this game, it drives me nuts. So the Bucks pass defense is ranked 30th. Through 2 games, who cares? You know, through 2 games, both quarterbacks are the least pressured in the league through 2 games, and the Bucks face the Cowboys and Falcons, notorious for being the worst defenses in the league over the past few seasons. So let's cool it down on the Tom Brady on pace for 70 touchdown passes. He's gonna be facing Aaron Donald this week. Let's cool it down and have some situational awareness and understand that he faced the Falcons and he faced the Cowboys. That's why he has 9 touchdown passes. But I do think it's interesting, though. I do think that Tom Brady is going to throw over 40 touchdown passes this year. He might even get 50. I don't know. He's not getting 70. But second year in the Bruce Arians system, every year the second year has always been the best season for any quarterback for the second year in that system under Bruce Arians. But Brady's only thrown for 40 touchdowns twice. One of them being last season. The last season he did that was when he broke the record, and then Peyton Manning eventually beat it again. When he played for the Patriots in 2007. So this should be a close game. It's exciting. It might be a Super Bowl matchup. Everyone's riding the dicks of the Bucs and the Stafford Rams, but let's see how good of a game this really can be. Last year, Rams were 6-2 at home. Bucs were 5-3. I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing this week. Facing at Rams, second game in that stadium. But let's be real here. This is basically the first game in that stadium because week 1 versus the Bears didn't count. This is the first big game. Cooper Kupp is going to absolutely ball out. And Stafford, he just has way more to prove than Tom Brady. I mean, duh. I don't want to hear about anybody saying Brady having to prove himself because he's like 50 years old. Dude has 6 rings and he's poised for a 7th one. I don't care. Stop riding his dick so hard. And Jason Pierre-Paul, JPP, he's going to be out. I think it's going to be playing a factor. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. Rams, I'm taking plus 1.5. If you're going to be points, I'm taking it. I'm taking the over. I'm taking the Rams 34-30. Next game, Seahawks and Vikings. Seahawks minus 2.5. Point spread 55.5. I am not touching this game. Mainly because I just found out of the nickname of Kirk Cousins, and they call him Kid Cuzzy. It's pretty fucking sick. like Kid Cuzzy, Kid Cuddy, dude. That's sick. So he's been Cuzzy, Kid Cuzzy. He's been having a stat stuffing season. I don't trust him. He seems like fool's gold. It's one of my favorite words to describe a quarterback when they have a stat sheet stuffer and then they don't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. He's fool's gold to me. This is the beginning of the season, Russell Wilson. If this was week 10, I might pick the Vikings, but every time I see a game with the Vikings versus the Seahawks, I just think of Blair Walsh in the playoff game. Because the Vikings faced the Seahawks in the Blair Walsh game when he missed the field goal as time expired for the Seahawks to advance to the next round. I don't think I've ever had faith in the Vikings. Last time I thought they were good was, well, obviously against the Saints when they had the miracle with Stephon Diggs, but what Dante Culpepper, like Brad Johnson, like no way. I do think it's going to be a high scoring game, but I'm counting on at least one missed field goal in crunch time by the Vikings. In the end, it's Kid Cuzzy versus Russell, and that's why it scares me because Kid Cuzzy, it's a great nickname, and then Mr. Dangerous, where the fuck Russell's name is, it's a terrible nickname, terrible. But both teams got great wide receivers. Osborne, he's kind of showing out as the third string wide receiver for the Vikings. Cousins fool's gold. Russ has been proven to be the real deal, especially early in the season. Look for a lot of yards. Both defenses, they haven't been, well, the Seattle's defense wasn't really supposed to be amazing this year. The Vikings were supposed to be better. But they're the best. The Vikings are the best 0-2 team in the NFL. They're very hungry. It's gonna be a great game since both defenses haven't been showing up. I think the Vikings, they have a lot to prove, and they're gonna be. This is a struggle game. This is a put up or shut up. This is either you're gonna have a chance for the playoffs or you're gonna lose. And statistically speaking, when teams start 0-2, they normally don't make the playoffs. Last year, nobody did. Seahawks, I got the Seahawks just because I just like the Seahawks franchise better. I can't see myself betting on the Vikings. And fuck the Vikings anyways. Go Bears. But Seattle 30-28. Next game, Packers 49ers. Hell yeah. Like, this is going to be like, there's some good games this week. There's some really shitty games this week. But Packers 49ers, Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan. LaFleur, he coached under Shanahan. I think Big Brother's going to fuck him up. Over-under is 50.5. The 49ers, they're favored by 3. One of the reasons why I like the 49ers is that I don't trust the Packers yet. They beat the Lions, and it was close in the first half, and they shut them out in the second half. I get that. But the Packers got the first sack of the season versus the Lions in the third quarter last week. Some concerns on defense. I get it. They shut them out in the second half, but it's the Lions, so who cares? I mean, but the 49ers, they kind of got their own things going on too. The 49ers, they have a weird backfield. They clearly don't trust Trey Sermon. And the injury bug's real. Raheem Mostert, by the way, I have family that has the last name Mostert, so you can call me Raheem if you'd like. But the Niners are used to running it down the Packers' throats. With Matt Breida when they had Mostert in the playoffs, whatever. And the Packers, they just look really weird this season. They look inconsistent, and I think this is because Aaron Rodgers is, getting into midseason form. He's trying to get into beginning of the season form even. Even though I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, and I hope that he lives a long, fulfilling life, but I hope he retires from football and, has bad things happen to him so he doesn't make the Hall of Fame. I didn't say that. I thought that out loud. But I think it's like Michael Jordan wearing 45 and then losing after not being like game ready physically and mentally. Like when MJ got beat by the Shaq and Penny Orlando Magic. I think that A-Rod was just having too much fun in the offseason. The dude was hosting Jeopardy. Fucking hilarious, dude. Like, are you kidding me? Why are you hosting Jeopardy? It's pretty sick, though, but he was trying to get his mind off the sport entirely to get away from the Packers drama and that shitty organization with those family fucking bastards. But now he's slowly getting back into it. They beat one of the shittiest franchise ever in the Detroit Lions. So who cares? If you're going to use that as like a number one thing to say oh, Packers looked good last week, man. Oh, yeah. They beat the Lions, man. Those Lions were tough. Like nobody's saying that. They were expected to blow them the fuck up. Lions, shitty. Can't say it enough. I think that the Packers are still out of sync. And then when they face a good team, they faced the Saints in week 1, got blown out. Granted, they were playing in Jacksonville, which is weird. But I trust Shanahan more with what's going on in the situation. LaFleur coached under Shanahan, like I was saying, so Big Brother's coming for that ass, boy. But Aaron Rodgers, one of the reasons why I don't like him, this week, he's a great quarterback. He might even fucking win MVP. He's going to have an insane second half of the season. I think he's going to be like Michael Jordan. He's going to come back strong second half. He's not going to lose this season. Fuck, they might even win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to cry if they do. But Aaron Rodgers has disgusting hair. He looks disgusting. He looks like he's about to go bald, and he's having one last dance with his hair. He's like, fuck it, well, I might as well grow it out, hide these bald spots, comb it back, hide that bald spot. And it's so thin. His hair is so thin. It looks like burnt up like angel hair, spaghetti noodles or something. Ugh. It's like gray. It's not like gray like an old person gray. It's like gray like a gray sky. It has no color in it, and it's disgusting. Get your shit together, bro. You play for quarterback for one of the most historic franchises ever. More NFL players should go to a barber. Look, I know I look like Seth Rogen with better facial hair, or maybe not as well kept, but I got a better hairline, maybe not as good looking or nearly as funny, but you make millions and they probably have a barber in the clubhouse, or at least somebody who works at Cost Cutter should be in there. There's no reason for you to look like an old Oscar the Grouch in a trash can from Sesame Street. Dude, you look disgusting. Shave or something. I don't know. Rogaine. Use your whatever, you silver fox. I don't know. You're old, but 49ers win. I don't think the Packers are in a groove yet, especially not after playing good teams. Matt LaFleur, coached under Shanahan. 49ers, I got them 28-24. So Monday night, last game of the slate. Eagles, Cowboys, divisional matchup in the NFC Beast. Best division in all sports. Just kidding, they suck. The over-under is 51.5. Cowboys are favored -3. Both teams weird. Is Mike McCarthy just the same as Jason Garrett? Is he just a puppet at this point? I don't really know. How could you trust anything the Eagles do? The Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he seems, I got him on my fantasy team. I think he's going to be okay. Cowboys defense, they held the Chargers to 17 points last week, which was impressive. But, how could you trust the Cowboys? How could you trust the Eagles? Who do I hate less? This is a who do I hate less game. It's got to be the Cowboys. Cowboys defense looked way better last week versus the Chargers, but I have trust issues. Cowboys, they will have the ability to outscore you in a shootout. I don't think Philly can. I think Philly has a lot of hard time being able to strum up some points, especially with their running back situation. I think Sanders is going to be is questionable for the game. Jalen Hurts, he's got great ability. There's no denying that. He's an insane athlete. But can he have a great game? You can't count on him. Miles Sanders questionable. NFC East games suck. Mike McCarthy's second season, so he might be better. He's got to feel the team. CeeDee Lamb's going to be going off this year. But do you trust him? Isn't Jerry Jones just a puppet master anyways? So I'm going with the Cowboys because who the fucking trusts Philly? This is a who do I hate less game. I don't think that the Eagles should be able to score many points. Cowboys -3 in the under. I'm going Cowboys 24-14. But yeah, it's my first week doing week 3. NFL football season. I'm going to be doing more every week. Going to be trying to do more podcasts, everything. Going to go live on YouTube, be able to do it. I'm going to share it to different platforms. I might end up pre-recording it and then putting it out, premiering it. So I appreciate anybody who's kind of watching this stuff. If not, no big deal. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hanging out, having a good time, talking some sports, preparing for these games. Going to the bar, watch these games. Going to look like a squirrel, looking at every fucking TV, back and forth, back and forth. It's going to be awesome. So everybody, happy football Sunday. Let's go. And go Bears.